January 16th, Sunday. The moment I realized that I turned off my phone and the LCD display lit up for the first time in a day, the words 12 missed calls appeared, and I felt that I would have been rather irritated myself had I been unable to contact someone in a similar fashion. Moreover, all 12 of them were
Haruki, where are you right now?
in front of Minami Sweatsko Station. I'm about to head home right now. The fact that they all came from the same particular man means that I'm not exactly in the most desirable situation.
I've been calling you since last night. At least keep your phone on.
My bad. I was working and forgot that I turned it off while I was busy.
Working? All night?
It was a traffic volume study. I ended up being stuck there for 24 hours. As of this moment, the clock reads 12 a.m. And it is now Sunday. I ended up spending more than 20 hours together with Mari-san. Sleeping, waking up, talking, touching each other, hugging each other. We've done so all within the confines of her bed over and over again, enjoying an otherwise leisurely holiday to its fullest. I initially thought I would be satisfied with that, but in the end, I was unable to resist the peeved, lonesome look Mari-san gave me when we were supposed to have parted for the day.
Well, whatever. At any rate, you're headed back to your apartment, which means that you're free at this moment, right?
Right now? Though he seems insistent, it's past midnight on a Sunday. Of course, I also have to go to university tomorrow morning.
There's something I wanted to talk to you for a bit. I'm heading there now.
Hold on for a sec. This is all so sudden.
I've told you that I've been meaning to talk to you for quite a while, haven't I? But you always say you're busy this, busy that, and you haven't even tried to free up any time. I don't know if there will be a next time if I let today slip by. We're going to meet up, even if I have to force you to.
But I'm tired today. So I might fall asleep before you even get there. I'm not lying when I said I'm tired. Although I'd spent nearly an entire day in bed, the amount of energy I had spent there was by no means any less than the amount I would have spent if I had been out and about.
Oh, that won't be a problem. I just caught ya.
Huh? And just as Takuya hung up, the car behind me, which was approaching at a tremendous speed, came to a halt right next to me.
Thanks for dropping me off. Well, you can go back now. I'll call you next time, okay?
Go to hell? And the one who got out of the car just so happened to be...
Oh, we were just about to enter that hotel, you know. Talk about good timing.
The man who just got dumped. I really am tired, so let's keep this short, alright?
I get it, okay? I'm grabbing a beer. You want one too, Haruki?
Don't get so comfy while saying that.
Let's call Io over later as well. She told me to contact her the moment I caught you. Be ready for that.
Just as I thought, these two have no intentions of simply hanging out here for a little while.
Here, Haruki, let's have a toast.
I'm good. I'm really about to go to sleep now.
Come on, don't hold back. It's not like you'll lose any sleep over a drink.
No, I'm pretty sure I will. And that happens to be a beer I bought, you know?
You really do care way too much about such small details. You sure you won't go bald?
Hey, don't touch a person's head like that. It's irritating. Takuya, who had just been screwing around and pulling at my hair, suddenly froze for some reason. What are you doing? He then suddenly brought his face close, to the point where it seemed like he was going to bury it into my chest. Hey, calm down. I'm a dude, you know? I'm Haruki, not your type at all. Next, he put his hands on the collar of my shirt, lifting it up as if he were trying to strip me.
Io. It's me, Takuya.
And then, thanks to Io answering her phone, Takuya finally halted his strange actions, and I let out the air that had filled my lungs in one breath.
Yeah, I failed. I couldn't catch Haruki in the end.
However, that wasn't the end of it, as Takuya's strange behavior continued. He had just been trying to call Io over a few seconds ago. Now, he was turning her away with a lie?
So yeah, I'm giving up for now. I guess I'll try again next week too.
Takuya? What are you— Shh! Moreover, it would seem that his lie was in truth a premeditated crime.
What? Oh, it's nothing. Well, anyway, I should get going. I'll try to contact him tomorrow. Yeah. Good night.
Why did you— It was obvious that Takuya's sudden change of mind was not because he cared about me being tired. After all, Takuya lying to Io and him lying to other girls are two completely different things. That was basic knowledge, at least to me. There would have to be some important reason behind him going against my expectations of him like this.
Because she would have found out, obviously.
Found out what?
What do you mean, what? You've been in a woman's room up until now, haven't you?
And there's the reason why.
Don't come back smelling like soap. That's not all. You even have hickeys all over your neck. You's a woman, so there's no way you could hide that.
Him touching my hair and making a suspicious face, pulling my shirt down to my shoulders and then making a sad face was all because
at times like that, you're supposed to go for a run until you get sweaty. That's what I always do. What are you doing, Haruki? What are you even doing? You're not supposed to be like me, remember?
Takuya.
Anyway, listen up. For now, I won't tell Io about this. Of course, the same goes for Setsuna-chan.
The truth I tried to hide. The truth that would be the most difficult to talk about. The truth that I would never have spoken of. Ended up exposed to the light of day, all before I could even bring my heavy mouth open to talk about it.
Your superior from work?
She's young and really successful, and has an insane work ethic.
So you're saying an older woman?
I was pretty much her favorite, and she also gave me a lot of advice. Once the floodgates had opened, there was nothing more I could do. She's a really reliable person. Even though I'm just a part-timer, she scolds me seriously and worries about me from the bottom of her heart. I told him how I was spoiled and healed during Christmas. I told him how I ended up being hurt as soon as the new year began. That's why I feel happy when I'm with her. And so, one after another, words continue to pour out of me as I also revealed that I spent the previous night desiring someone and being desired by her.
Is she hot?
It's probably useless for me to say this now, but she's way too beautiful and an amazing person too.
I believe the high score that you had given her. The girls around you happen to be of a really high level after all.
Both the fact that I'm emotionally justifying myself as well as the fact that Takuya is rationally listening to me is very unlike both of us. And here I thought he would have just beat me up at any moment if he really acted the way he was.
So, does she know the fact that you've got a girlfriend?
Me having a girlfriend?
I'm not interested in the biased view you have of the situation. So, you're saying she doesn't know about Setsuna-chan, then?
I never told her.
You're being complicated again. It would have been so much simpler if the other person cheated on you and you guys broke up.
Cheating. I've tried to say it several times now, but those words have become nothing but excuses. I had the chance to say it the whole time I held her in my arms, and yet I still didn't say it. Rather than talking about the truth, I yearned for her instead.
So, what kind of relationship did you have with her? If you're just being played with, then...
No, that's not it.
Not a sliver of doubt, huh?
Teasing, deceiving, toying with someone. She's the opposite of that. She's true to herself. She's diligent, and she doesn't compromise. And I imagine what she did with me yesterday was...
You've managed to make a prudish and beautiful superior like that take such an interest in you? You're actually really scary, even though you're in my shadow.
I mean, I too. I can't believe it either. To think that she would accept me of all people?
I've already heard you say that line 3 years ago. And twice at that. So, you're telling me you've been in a room the whole time since last night? You held each other the whole day? Just how many times have you done it?
Don't give me that cliche sentence. Even though you are a good friend of mine, and even though I'm in the wrong here, there are still things you should and shouldn't say.
I suppose. My bad. Forget what I just said.
5 times? Hey now, you're being so loud. It's fine. I'm alone in the office working on a day off at the moment. Must be tough on you. I understand how you feel right now. I just can't do this anymore. I said I feel you. You don't have to express it with words. You can't say that after having such a sex-filled weekend. There's a limit to just how jealous I can get, you know? Well, I was free and there was nothing left to do after all. He told me that he has no hobbies outside of work, which sucks. Don't you try to dodge what I said, you pervert. I don't think you can just say it like that. After all, I'm having a hard time here too. Uh-huh. And what would that be with? There's a prickling pain whenever I walk, and my hips hurt when I stand too. Don't be so shocked. I too regret going too far now, you know. Your partner is young, so I guess there's
Still, you got caught in the moment too? Jeez, I don't remember you being such a monkey. Sorry.
That reminds me. Thanks for finding me a hospital. I'm not too familiar with this, so I was really stumped.
But you know, if I really helped with your situation...
What do you mean?
Well, normally, if someone happens to let it out inside you 5 times, you might get pregnant even after taking the pill.
Yeah?
You didn't know? That won't be effective after 3 rounds of sex?
Sawako's making BS up.
What? You're lying.
Yep, I am.
Well, what are you going to do?
What am I going to do indeed?
What are you saying? You've betrayed Setsuna-chan yet again! Don't you even care about the fact that you're hurting her by doing this?
I don't even have the confidence to believe that anymore.
What do you mean?
Saying that what I'm doing is hurting Setsuna? Saying that I have such a profound influence on her? And even the fact I think it all sounds really egotistical?
What are you even trying to say?
Am I really the guy that Setsuna's being so obsessed over? Isn't it all just a horrible misunderstanding?
And if that were the case, would it be for the better?
I get it. I'm well aware that my weakness is nothing but cowardice with the way things are now. That I'm literally the worst of the worst. But that's exactly why I don't deserve her at all. Which leaves us with the downward, unending spiral we're stuck in right now.
I know, and you know full well too. You know just how much Setsuna-chan cares about you.
If that's really the case, then haven't I already done too much? I'm not going back to how I was before. I can feel Takuya's irritation as it shakes the air around us. I myself feel nauseated over the disgusting things I've done. My weakness, my choices, and my crucial error in judgment.
Why didn't you just follow the plan in the first place? Why did you have to force things at the time like that of all times? You were supposed to have forced things on that Christmas night, weren't you?
That night on Christmas. That day when Setsuna and my hearts were supposed to become one, which made us misunderstand each other. That beautiful, white, and freezing cold day.
Back then, if you had just moved forward instead of flinching, if you didn't give up even after Setsuna rejected you, if you had just stayed by her side the whole time.
How could I even do that?
If you had just took off your panties from the start, when he pushed you down first, this problem would have been resolved. This problem would have been resolved in the blink of an eye.
You think I could just do that?
If you really love him, you could at least do that.
How can you be this direct, Sawako? Is there really nothing but sex in your mind?
Why are you acting so innocent now? It's not like you were some young maiden last night. Honey?
A young maiden? Since when did you sound so old? I don't get you.
Wait, could it be that...
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is... You listening?
What is it? You are?
Shoujo also implies virgin. I can't do that. Not to Setsuna. I don't have the courage to do that to her, and only her.
You know, what you're saying is cruel to both of them.
No matter what, I can't bring myself to want Setsuna. But as for Mari-san, I end up wanting her, which itself is cruel to Setsuna. I understand that. Even so, Setsuna is different.
Both in a good and bad way.
The cruelty of not having crossed a line I should have. The arrogance of having crossed a line I shouldn't have. I treated the both of them in a special way, but the difference in how I treated each of them has resulted in me betraying the both of them. When Setsuna and I are together, I can't move forward. I get worried that she's turning back, but then I realize that it's me turning back. No matter how hard I try to pave the way forward, I somehow end up proceeding in the wrong direction before I know it. I somehow end up proceeding in the wrong direction before I know it. When I realized that, I'd already destroyed the wrong target. I swung my blade to cleave apart the obstacles that divided Setsuna from me, only to end up cutting into her instead before I even realized it. That's just how things have been for me. That's just how things have been for the two of us. And now with the way I am now, my heart is wavering in the worst way possible.
About that older girlfriend of yours.
I love her, in a normal way.
So, that's how it is.
I don't think I'm only fleeing from Setsuna, but that I'm genuinely attracted to Mari-san. It's just that, with the direction that I've gone in, just by fleeing from Setsuna, I feel comfortable as I am now. I'm worse than ever before, aren't I?
Say, can I ask you something?
What?
From the way you've described her and her personality, a certain other girl's name inevitably comes to mind.
I won't deny that. It's only natural that Takuya noticed it. After all, even I've noticed it too.
Seriously, you really are weak to tough women like that, aren't you?
Toma Kazusa, now just a part of my history.
Back then, you fell for her the moment you met her. At least, that's what I heard from Shikashi.
She was an excellent student in some ways, and an extremely poor student in others. She stood above the rest in some ways, though, in turn, she always stuck with that aloof air of hers all the time. She's as far from being a perfect replica of her, and she is a completely different woman. But those pretty narrow eyes, that self-confident attitude, that mouth of hers, which just isn't good at conveying her own feelings. I'm being pulled back into my memories, whether I like it or not. I'm falling back in love with her.
Haruki, you should know that. You're not just dragging things out with Setsuna-chan as they are, but you're also being led on by Toma's traits.
We've talked about Toma, and she's aware of that too.
Which reminds me, you two wrote an article on Toma, right? You used to always reject talking about her.
And even after that, she accepted me. That's why
Wow. So, isn't it great that you managed to hook up with Haruki-kun, Mari?
Say another unnecessary word this time, and I'll block you. You hear me?
I really do think so. Are there any other guys who, knowing that you're crippled with your job, would still chase after you? Did
No, I'm actually well aware of what you just said.
You better not let him get away this time, got it? You need to actually try to make a relationship that will last forever, okay?
He said he would do his best to understand me.
Stop praising him, especially when talking with a friend who is working alone on a Sunday night.
I'm sorry, but it was you who called and kept asking about him.
But I don't mean to pry given you're at the peak of your happiness, but are you sure you'll be okay, Mari?
Yeah, I think I'll be fine. Next year at the earliest.
I suppose that's fine then. In any case, hurry up and get things rolling as promised, alright?
It's alright if you secretly stop taking your contraceptives, you know.
Side note, no it isn't.
Sawako!
Anyway, congratulations, Mari. See ya.
Hold on. Jeez, what was that all about? Damn it. Better put on my panties. Not just that, I need to put on some clothes.
Takuya, you still awake?
Isn't it obvious that I'm asleep? Don't make me talk while I'm trying to sleep.
My neither fun nor forward-facing nor resolute topic of conversation would not improve, even with snacks or alcohol. Takuya promptly dragged out a blanket, and then we turned out the lights and looked up at the darkness of the ceiling. Hey, tell me, how exactly should I make it up to Setsuna?
How would I know? I suppose thinking about it and worrying about it is one way of trying to make it up to her.
My thoughts have been going in circles for quite some time. My mind's too awake to let my body get the rest it should be having. And it's likely that I won't get any proper rest until morning.
But you know what? I'll give you a hint. There's only one way you won't make her sad, and that's by continuing to be a shameless, lying bastard.
In other words, the ultimate kind of foul play. That night on Christmas Eve, we said we would redo everything. A passionate lie that brought us to tears. I've not said anything since January arrived. After all, nothing has happened. Didn't you say you understood when I said that I couldn't?
That's why I said to suffer. I told you it's useless to ask me.
Cheating on Setsuna and then saying that I would redo everything without any proper judgment? I doubt my heart would be able to tolerate what would come in the end. Even so, I don't have the audacity nor the courage to expose everything to the light of day, to properly come to a conclusion, to close up small wounds, or to make her feel relieved.
So, you want to suffer and writhe in your own misery. And if you end up making a decision after that, I won't have any more complaints. I won't tell Io about this either.
Takuya, if that's the case, I basically didn't have the ability to make a choice from the very beginning. I'll meet up with Setsuna one more time.
Alright.
There's nothing to do except expose everything to the light of day. And with that, everyone will be hurt. There won't be any other result. I've already closed the door on every other possibility. After all, while I was drowning in pain, Mari-san, who extended a helping hand, ended up getting dragged down to the bottom of the sea because of me. I'll meet up with her next week. I'll tell her everything.
That's before the exams, isn't it? It's probably better if you wait until they're over.
That won't do. I need to talk to her now, or I won't be able to ever again. Don't you know? I'm a coward after all.
Is that so?
In the end, the timing of our talk will hurt Setsuna. Truly, our fortunes are so awful that it's almost impressive. Hey, Takuya? Regardless of what ends up happening between us, will you and Io still help Setsuna get back on her feet?
I don't need to hear you say that, since I already plan to. I've been doing that for the past 3 years.
I really am a horrible person, aren't I?
Don't start being aware of that now. Don't be reflecting on things now of all times.
Good night.
Yeah.
Our conversation ended abruptly, amidst a gentle, albeit dry, atmosphere. In this darkness, I can't tell whether Takuya has already shut his eyes or if he's still staring at the ceiling. After all, I've already shut my own eyes. I'll meet with Setsuna. I'll tell her everything about this whole month, including Mari-san. I'll tell her that I became lost after I fell out with her, and how I arrived at a situation that I never could have imagined back then. After that, I'll talk to Mari-san. I'll tell her about the last 3 years, about Setsuna, about that night on Christmas Eve, the night where I made that grave mistake, the night where I became alone. While I had 3 chances to talk to her, my feelings for Mari-san had grown so much that I couldn't talk about the past that meant everything to me. To Mari-san, it might be too annoying, sudden, indecisive, or it might make her think I'm making a fool of her. Nevertheless, I have to talk to her. And there's nothing that can be done if she can't muster any more affection for me. Perhaps she may even start throwing plates and glasses at me. I may be seriously overthinking this, though. Still, I have no option but to do this. Because when that time comes, I will have to choose a future. I will have to choose someone. January 21st, Friday.
Reed, sorry I'm late. Thanks for the text. I saw you on campus last Wednesday. I wasn't sure if you were well or not, but after seeing that you actually were, I felt a little relieved. I wanted to call out to you, but I decided not to. It looked like you were talking with someone on the phone. No, that's just an excuse, isn't it? I just didn't have the courage to call out to you. I ended up wondering if I really had the right to talk to you. And once the thought popped up in my mind,
My feet wouldn't take another step toward you anymore.
that's why I'm really happy that you texted me. Thank you so much. I'll be sure to live my life normally too. Even now, I still remember what happened that time every single day. And each time I do, I feel hurt. Despite that, I still wake up in the morning and eat my meals. I still go to university every day. I'm okay. And you're okay too, right, Haruki-kun? The exams are coming up soon, aren't they? Let's both give it our best. Anyway, Good night. I'll text you again tomorrow.
Last Wednesday, I was talking to someone on my phone while on campus. There's no doubt about it. That call was with... Same here. Thanks, Mari-san, whom I promised to meet. An essential piece of what makes up this crossroads of destiny. Thanks for the text. I am happy to hear you're doing well too, Setsuna. But you should have called out to me when you saw me. Having the right, the courage, those things are completely unnecessary. Just kidding, of course. I can't say that. If I were in your shoes, I guess I'd end up thinking the same thing and be frozen as well. However, I do think that it would end up differently, even if the difference would be minimal. If only Setsuna could have called out to me back then. If only I could have told her everything.
Only one page left to proofread over here. Looks like you'll be bowing down to the printing company again, Hamada.
How are you always one step ahead of me? No matter how you look at it, this deadline is stupid.
The happiness of being able to go home on the weekend. This is why it's worth working as hard as I do.
With the way I am right now, how was there even a time where I was really so deeply in love with this person? Also, I wrote this in my last text too, but I'd like to meet with you in person and talk as soon as possible. How about tomorrow? Any time is fine, so do you think you could free up some time in your schedule? It's about something important. I'll be waiting for your reply. See ya. It's as if I made two crucial yet completely opposite decisions within this 1 week. No, I shouldn't be trying to excuse my current circumstances with the trivial decisions she's made, even though it's all my fault for lacking integrity. Sorry, Setsuna. Ah, Kitahara is texting his girlfriend. And at that moment, I was about to press send. My problem was pointed out by a completely uninvited person beside me. You can't do that while you're in the middle of work. I think I'm going to tell Mari-san in more ways than one. I was free and awaiting your instructions, Suzuki-san. If you want to tell her, then go ahead. But in reality, you're looking away, aren't you? Aren't you the one looking away? Besides, you're late, and in more ways than one. What's with this calm attitude? I'll actually report you, you know. I don't think you should put too much truth in that goodness of my...
You two sure look like you're having fun. People with no work left can go home, and those who can't finish theirs can just drop dead.
Why didn't you tell me? Whose side are you on, Kitahara-kun? It's a given that I wouldn't be on the side of the person who's threatening me. For the most part, her time of ridiculing others was long over.
I'm serious here. How much longer will it take? Suzuki, are you perhaps in a situation where you can't laugh at Hamada?
Mari-san! Mari-san! It's been so painful and agonizing!
Putting aside that forced wailing of yours, seems like it'll be bad if someone doesn't cover for you.
I've still got 2 whole pages left, and half of that is completely blank. Suzuki-san was trying to escape from reality.
Okay, I get it. I'll take over from here. You can go on ahead, Kitahara.
Wait, but it's 10:30 p.m. right now. Usually the office stays open for about an hour more on average. To be told to go home this early? This is a warning sign to me that something bad has happened.
If the two of us cover for her, you'll be staying late. It'll be faster if I finish everything rather than splitting and assigning you work.
Besides,
Looks like your girlfriend is waiting for you. Keeping you here any longer would make me feel bad.
well, just as I thought.
That's that. Good work today, Kirahara. You don't have to come to work until your exams are over.
Oh, right. About that, Mari-san?
Good work today.
Suzuki-san looked quite apologetic as she stood behind Mari-san with her cheeks stiff and her hands placed together. Her cheeks were stiff to the point that I wondered if she could even move them to apologize. Well then, I'll be leaving now. Stay home for as long as you want.
Just calling or emailing is fine. Have a nice weekend.
Right. It was inevitable that I would be told to go home early and not to come to work for a bit. However, there was one depressing, troublesome thing that would come of this. From here on, I won't be able to see her. So, how am I supposed to reply to Mari-san?
Ah, right, Kirahara. I still haven't given you your souvenir from Guam, have I?
Yeah, you haven't, but that's fine. After all, I'm sure it's...
Here, something special. A rare item which nobody in the editing department was cool enough to take.
Again, this is... I wanted to tell her that she had chosen a tasteless mascot figurine, but the figurine in itself looked so ominous that I was unable to say that. I imagine it's something that has condemned many in the past by granting their desires in exchange for a grave price or something like that.
Naturally, you'll take it, right?
Gladly. I suppose this is a testament to just how much I've sinned up until now. And I imagine I've messed up so horribly this time that I won't be able to give Mari-san a follow-up call, judging from when she's going to be back. Is this...
You should go home already. Don't get lost, okay?
Leaving me with that sharp remark, Mari-san had already turned her back to me, and I was unable to see her expression. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Haruki has come clean to Takuya. Now just has to talk to Setsuna. Those two haven't really officially broken up yet, though they pretty much did with that interaction on Christmas. Those two need to communicate better. Mari's being a lot more straightforward with just giving Haruki a key to her apartment.